I'm about to show you what is quite possibly the largest art project I have ever done. When I say this is the largest art project, I'm talking 10 paintings. They are all related and they are all stemming from a certain experience in my life. This video is going to be a little bit more on the vulnerable side, but we are messy people, and I think there is beauty in the messy things that we go through. So I want to share that with you. Before I share these things with you, I do want to say that all the original paintings are available at mirabyler.com. Limited edition prints are also available at mirabyler.com. Some of the paintings have normal sized prints, and they also have like super large rolled canvas prints. So keep an eye out for that if you want something large for your walls too. Anyway, I will link everything down below. No pressure, but I just want to put that here at the beginning. Because, yeah, this is where I've been pouring my heart since November, and to be able to share all of this with you is an honor. So thank you for hanging around. So here I am, prepping my first painting, getting my supplies ready, getting my palette ready. And I knew at the time with this first painting, like what impacted it, but I did not know at the time that this was gonna be a multiple painting ordeal. This first painting here that you're about to see, I like to call it the main character of the show, because this one was when a lot of the realizations started to hit me, like things that hit me before starting this were hitting me again, and it just meant so much to me, and it was very, very liberating. Like, I already knew what I wanted to call this painting and everything. And yeah, I want to take you on the journey of how I got here and what this whole series means to me and what I want you to take away from it too. So this painting is called Freedom in Bloom, and that is actually what I named the entire painting collection. And I want to share with you like how I got here, and you can kind of see me work on multiple paintings during this time. Some of them I don't have recorded because it was like a private little session, me and a canvas, you know, but I will bring them on camera for you to see. And yeah, this whole thing was so special. So as I said, it's an honor to share this with you. I will preface this by saying I do not share a lot of my personal life on the internet, and I do that out of respect for my own boundaries and also out of respect for the privacy of my family. But after a lot of reflection with this particular journey, I felt like it was worth sharing because it changed my life for the better, and it helped me see life through a different lens. And there was a lot of struggle and a lot of healing with this story that I'm about to share. And I hope that if anybody else out there is struggling, that my story can help you in some way too. Before I continue, you just saw the Freedom in Bloom painting. That was the main one. And this whole series came about because we went to Scandinavia over the summer, and I never thought I would be able to go to Scandinavia. I never thought I'd be able to do that. I never thought I'd be able to like hike mountains again or just climb something again, take big steps again. So I'm gonna rewind to about 2 years ago and share why I didn't think I would maybe be able to do those things again. This is gonna be a more vulnerable video. I think I've mentioned that. So if I cry, it's okay. It's okay to cry sometimes. So 2 years ago, I was pregnant with my twins, and it was such an exciting time because I knew I would be meeting them soon, and I could not wait to meet them. We were just so excited, and it was a hard pregnancy, but that didn't matter. Like, I was in and out of the hospital so much with like, I couldn't stop throwing up. I had contractions like constantly, and yeah, I went into preterm labor, so many different things, and it was like Well, I don't care because I get to meet these two amazing twins soon. So like I will do all these hard things. It's okay. And then after I had the twins, we soon discovered that I could not feel my leg. My left leg had no feeling. I couldn't move it. I didn't know when other people were touching my leg. I couldn't lift it to get out of my hospital bed. I could not walk. And that was a very surprising thing. Different people from the hospital were like coming in and trying to figure out like what happened. And everybody was like so friendly and so comforting. And I was obviously like terrified, like I didn't know what happened. That was the start of a really hard journey. So we eventually figured out that I had a femoral nerve injury, and nerve injuries happen during delivery. I'm just gonna put a trigger warning here if anybody is expecting and you've never given birth before. Maybe it's not the time to watch this video, or if you have your own trauma with this sort of thing, it might not be the time to watch it if you're not in a good place. So you can click out here or like mute this if you just want to see the artwork, whatever. But I want to share this with you because I hope it helps somebody out there. So with femoral nerve injuries, there's like different types of nerve injuries that can happen when you have a baby or babies in my case, but femoral nerve injuries are more on the rare side. And we read different studies and we like had seen different answers. Like some studies said 1 in 10,000, some said 1 in 20,000. We came across one that said 1 in 100,000. So there were like a lot of different answers and unknowns. And I was told like they didn't know if I would make a full recovery or like what would come of this, because it was like a lot of people's first time seeing a case like mine. So I started physical therapy. I was like in a horrible place, but I was like, you know what? I am gonna try my best. I have 2 amazing babies at home. Like I wanna be able to run around with them and jump and play and like have so many good memories with them. Like I have to try my best. And at the time I wasn't allowed to like stand up holding my babies. I wasn't allowed to walk across the room with them because I couldn't lift my leg to do those things. I needed to do this to recover. So yeah, I spent 6 months in physical therapy and it was a long journey. My physical therapists were like the most amazing people. But I'm sharing that part of my story with you. I'm gonna leave a lot of it out, but I just want to share like that nugget with you. That was one of the darkest times of my life. And during that time, never would I have fathomed that in a year and a half from that point, I would be on the other side of the world hiking mountains. Never would have thought that. I never would have thought that I would have made a full recovery. And by the grace of God and with the help of all the amazing people in my life, my husband, my doctors, my physical therapists, my family, my friends, my church community, I wouldn't be where I am now. But God is amazing. God healed my body. And I got to see all these beautiful wildflowers on my journey of hiking. It was just astounding. This environment that seemed like it was kind of harsh and cold and windy had all these resilient, delicate looking flowers that just stood up against the elements. And that just like really hit me when I was there, because never did I think like I would be lifting my leg over giant rocks and pushing off of them to lift the rest of my body weight and jumping over puddles and running around and just having fun on a mountain and looking around and just seeing wildflowers. Like that was incredible. So I decided to take tons of pictures when I was there because I realized like I am free from a really hard journey. And I came out on the other side of it, and it wasn't like me who did it solely. It was like a collective thing. Like so many people were there alongside me too. But Yeah, so it was a really meaningful thing. So all that to say, I couldn't stop at one painting. And when we were there, I just started taking pictures of like all the beautiful flowers I saw, whether they were up on mountains or low on land that we walked around for hours. It didn't really matter. So then the second painting was born. This one is called Dahlias in Bloom, which you see here. It's also a larger painting. These are all acrylic on canvas, by the way. But it was just such a special thing to capture this whole thought process and just being overwhelmed by immense gratitude that, hey, I went through this hard thing and then I got through it. And here I am on the other side. And some days when I look back at that journey, it is hard. I cry when I think about that journey. And then other days when I look back at that journey, I am just so happy and I smile. Which I think just goes to show that the process of healing, people say it's not linear, and it's true, it's not linear. So now I'm gonna prep some smaller canvases and continue this series. And as I continue it, I guess I just wanna share why I shared my journey with you. I read your comments all the time, and there are so many people who watch me who have chronic illnesses, who are stuck at home and they can't do anything, and that like, or they're going through like a horrible health journey. And if I could just reach through the screen and hug everybody who's struggling, I wish I could. But I want to share this whole journey with you because I care about all the people who are also struggling and all the people who maybe some days you just don't have hope. Maybe some days you can't fathom getting better or healing, or you just can't fathom having good days anymore. I guess I just share that because I hope my journey helps you. I hope that my journey makes you feel like you're less alone too. I'm not the greatest with words. I am an internal processor, and it takes me a while to say what I want to say, but I can show it in art. So with that said, I hope what you're seeing in this video makes you feel less alone too. And if you're struggling with other things too, not just like mobility or injuries or stuff like that, you don't have to be okay all the time. You can have good days and bad days. Things do get better though. They do. The internet is like a really weird place because I feel like it gets like a negative rap for all the things that are out here. But the internet is also a beautiful place, and like strangers from different parts of the world can like bond over hard times or something that was special to them and stuff too. So here's one that you may have seen behind me in this video. I did not film this one. I have a little bit of footage from my phone, but this one was like the canvas and me were spending some time together, and this is how it turned out. And I'm really, really happy with it. Sorry if you see the cord from my mic, but anyway, I'm really happy with it. I remember the moment when I took this photo. It was like, these flowers were just so breathtaking, and to be able to take a picture of them and come home and paint it, like, wow, that was so meaningful. For that specific painting, I only have really large rolled canvas prints available, no little ones, but the size was just like awkward enough that I had to like go big or not do one at all. So if you want one of those, you have to do rolled canvas print. They're pretty easy to frame, by the way. I've framed them before. I also have this painting here. I just took a little cropped piece of a larger photo that I took and painted like this intertwinement of flowers that I saw in this large flower bed at one point. We spent a lot of days just like walking for hours and hours. So yeah, when I would come across pretty flowers, sometimes I would just stop and be like, hey, this is still sweet. I might not be hiking a mountain right now, but I have been walking for hours, still saw pretty cool flowers. I also did some mini paintings like this one here, and I made like a mini print set of these, by the way. There's like 4 minis. I will show the other ones in some B-roll in a second. Anyway, this whole painting project, I cannot believe it spanned 10 paintings. I am really, really thankful that I went through a really hard journey. And I think about it all the time, like when I'm playing with my twins, like, wow, I'm so blessed to be able to run around with them and pick them up now and give them piggyback rides and spin in circles with them and all these little things that might not seem like a big deal to many people, but to me it's like, no, like every day this is still a big deal. I'm so thankful I can feel my leg, I can move my leg, and I'm just so thankful for all the people that I met through this process too. It taught me a lot about being vulnerable and accepting help, and I think it really solidified like what I want my purpose to be with art too, but I always want to show people the beauty in life through my artwork. So that was definitely my intention with this whole project. I was processing a lot of gratitude, like an immense amount of gratitude the whole time I did these flowers. I hope it translates to my viewers here too. So this is called Freedom in Bloom because I felt trapped at the beginning of this journey, and I actually did not have very much optimism at all. You can ask anybody who knew me really well at the time, like barely had any. And I felt really trapped in my situation and just really sad about my situation. And if you've ever been in a hard place, I'm sure you can relate to like those negative emotions that come with it. But then as time progressed and I kept making progress, my thoughts started to change and I realized I'm blooming. I am healing and I'm coming out of this a different person. Yeah, looking around me in Scandinavia when we were standing on top of the mountains at one point, I just realized, like, you know, I'm free. This journey is not looming over my head anymore. I'm actually through it now. And as hard of a journey as that was, it was so beautiful and it was so worth it because I have my twins, I have my husband, I have my family, and it all worked out for the good. But yeah, if you're in a hard place right now, I send you my love, and I hope that these paintings help you in some way. Yeah, this was definitely a more vulnerable video, as I said, but this is my collection. It's Freedom in Bloom, and it feels good to have bloomed and feel free now. And as I said, if you want any of this artwork, you can go to mirabyler.com. There are prints of all the pieces, and the originals are available too. I will leave you with that, but I hope you have a beautiful day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.